What if that was it? What if the best thing I've ever made is already behind me? I think about that more than I'd like to admit, not in a melodramatic, brooding kind of way, but just in the back of my mind every now and again. When something goes well, there's this strange aftershock, this thought that maybe lightning doesn't strike twice. Last semester, I made a poetry film. It wasn't the first film I ever made. The first film I ever made was a parody of the American Psycho Huey Lewis in the News monologue, and I still have all of it memorized, but that film sucked, so I don't count it. The poetry film, similarly, was far from perfect. It was rough around the edges, some of the shots didn't quite land, the audio was far from ideal, but it was honest, and somehow, by some miracle, people responded to it. It was chosen to be shown at a local film festival. The logical side of me didn't think it would be accepted. I mean, how many people would be submitting films, and how many of them monumentally more experienced and more talented than me? Deep down, though, I was really hoping it would work. I wanted a sign that the work I was doing was all worth it, I suppose. And I can remember sitting there in the audience with some of the most incredible filmmakers I know and thinking, this is the proudest I've ever been of anything. Suffice it to say that people were kind, supportive in a way that startled me almost. Of course, my friends showed up, and of course, they encouraged me, but it was more than that. They didn't just say, good job. It didn't feel like they were only there for their friend, but that they were there to see films. They built me up. They treated it like it really mattered, like it meant something. And that scared me a little, because I didn't want that to be my peak. So I decided I'd make something outside of class. I mean, what's the point in feeling that way if I'm not going to make something new, something self driven? No grade attached, just me and some of the people I care about. Two of my closest friends behind the camera, both of them incredible filmmakers and storytellers, and two others acting it. One of them being the person who inspired me to get into film in the first place. I had everything lined up, and really I was honored for the chance to work with them. For Christmas, I was getting my first real camera, a Canon EOS 80D. It felt official, like stepping into something new, like the moment where I stopped trying to be and started actually doing. The stars aligned for this film, and then I fell down the stairs. It sounds funny when I say it like that, and in truth, I only really fell down one stair, but it was enough that I rolled my ankle really badly and ended up rupturing my ATFL and breaking off part of my tibia. Doctor's appointment after doctor's appointment. They proposed the idea of surgery, after which there'd be 4 to 6 weeks immobile and crutches for a while. The timing felt cruel. I wasn't just losing mobility, I was losing the version of the film I had imagined. The tracking shots, the movement, the physicality, the energy. Even if I could still make the film, it felt like it would be a dying, decrepit thing, not the film I had in my head. It felt like the universe leaning in and saying, no, not now. And in the quiet moments after, that old fear crept back in. Maybe that first film was it. Maybe that was my lightning. But the more I sat with that thought, the more ridiculous it sounded. I mean, how could that possibly be true? I'm just getting started making films. The idea that I've already peaked assumes that growth has an expiration date, that creativity is a limited resource, and that one big moment is all we're allowed. And when you look at it like that, it just doesn't make sense, does it? And even if it did, what's the alternative? What should I do if I already hit my peak? stop making things entirely. Just give up, lay down, and bleed and cry about how my first film was the best one I ever made. Here's what I've realized. The worst already happened. I fell. I got hurt, and if this video comes out on time, I have surgery in about a week. I'm going to be immobile for a while, and after that, I'll be on crutches. I won't be able to move the way I want to. I won't be able to make the kind of movie that I want to. But I'm still here. I mean, it's not like I died. The thing I was afraid of, the failure, the interruptions, all of the setbacks, they already came. And yet, in the face of that, I'm still thinking about movies. That has to mean something. There's this strange phrase that I've heard people use, and myself included once upon a time, where they'll say, I want to be an artist. I don't think there's such a thing. If you feel the urge to create, if you feel restless until you make something, that's it. That's the whole qualification. You don't become an artist when people applaud. You don't become an artist because you buy the right camera. You become an artist when you decide to create, to keep going. Even if you're sitting down, even if you're frustrated, even if whatever you make is smaller than you'd imagined it. Art isn't about spectacle. It's about persistence. And if you feel the desire to create, you've already got the spirit of an artist. You're already halfway there. You just have to channel it. I was so afraid that my best work was already behind me. But the truth is, I think, the worst might be behind me instead. The fall happened. The doubt happened. The fear happened. That terrible, awful American Psycho parody happened. And God, it really did suck. But I'm still here. So I'm going to make something. Maybe it won't look the way I planned. Maybe it won't move the way I wanted. But it will exist. And I think that's enough. And if you're waiting for the perfect moment, if you're waiting until you feel ready, if you're afraid that you've already missed your chance, then I think maybe, just maybe, the worst might be behind you too. So go make something, even if it's small, especially if it's small. Thank you.